Hey, how's it going? It's Craig. I'm out in the garage and today we're going to look at the PAL Asia Mega Drive 1 that Danester sent in. Let's take a look. Okay, so the system we're going to take a look at is the PAL Asia Mega Drive 1. So Danester sent this in. Didn't give me a massive amount of background on it. He just said it's not working. I think he said, was it this one? I can't remember. He gave me 3 consoles in total and it was 2 Mega Drives. One of them had a power issue. So I don't know whether it's this one. This one, the switch seems to work quite nicely on it. It's been opened before. So there is something rattling around in there. There was a screw or something loose in there. So the first thing I'm going to do is strip this down. I'm not going to power it up until I know that screw is not loose and shorting anything inside of there. I'm going to strip it down, give it a all nice good clean. Clean all the connectors on the cartridge slot, clean all the board, clean all the switches and things like that with some isopropyl. And then we'll give it a power up. If it doesn't power up then we'll look into why it's not powering up. So yeah, cool. I'm quite excited to look at this board and this system. I don't know how long it's going to take me. It really depends on how bad the system is and what's wrong with it. But just as a bit of a guide, I'm going to put on, I've seen that on my videos, Tutti UK's posted a video over the last like 24 hours or something, and I can see that it's a 59-minute video of him talking from the boiler room, I think he calls it. So I'm going to put that in the background on my laptop and listen to Tutti rambling on in his games room whilst I'm taking a look at this. Hopefully we'll get into around the same time that this should be repaired and working within that 59 minutes. So the next thing for me to do is really to strip this down. I'll switch to an overhead camera view. I'll strip it down, I'll clean it all up, I'll do a little bit of a montage just showing you that. There's not much to it at the moment, so I'm not going to do super detailed repair on this, but I'm just going to rip it apart, take a look at it, clean it up, and then I'm going to test it out, so I'll come back onto camera at that point. Cool, let's take a look.
What's been going on then? Looking at all sorts kicking off. Old Sega, the Game Gear Mini, not for me at all.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
Okay, so we swapped the crystal over on the other board. This is a different board now, so because I've managed to test everything I could, I tested and retraced and reflowed everything. I think it's either one of these two CPUs or the RAM chips that have gone on that other board. But the only way I'd be able to find out is by desoldering these ones off of this board and putting them onto that other board, which, to be honest, doesn't make sense because this board's up and running, the other one isn't. I would rather... you can't buy these easily. You have to take them off a broken board, and this is the only other board I've got, and it actually works, so there's no point in me taking this one apart to fix one that's not working when this one actually works. So I've just given this board a bit of a clean over, tidied up a bit. The next thing for me to do is to do some of these traces here. I'm going to cut the traces and do some the 60 Hz and the English to Japanese language mod as well, just so there's switches on the back of this case so Danester can change over when he wants to. So I'm going to get on with that now, clean all these solder pads up. I might even do it so I can do through hole soldering on this rather than just try to solder onto those pads. I'll get that sorted and then we'll go from there. Cool. Okay, so there we have it, a fully complete Mega Drive, updated, cleaned. So I'll give the console, the casing of the console, a bit of a scrub and some fairy liquid and warm water when it was apart, just to give it a good clean over. Looking a lot neater. As you can see, I put 2 extra switches on the back. Left hand one is the 50-60 Hz, so upwards is 60 Hz, down is 50 Hz, and then the right hand switch is Japanese and English text. So we'll test it out and show you in a second. I'm running on an RGB cable with the audio around the front, so lovely cable this. The quality on the screen is absolutely amazing when it's running. So a lot of people test it with Sonic, but we're going to test it with Streets of Rage. So Streets of Rage UK PAL version, power it on. So we get a nice picture. Okay, so immediately I can tell that's the 60 Hz mode because the screen is full and the music speed. When I switch this down to 50 Hz mode, you see we get the jail bars and the slower speed. Back to 60 Hz, back to full screen. I'm just going to turn the music down, and then the language switch, so we're in English at the moment. I'm going to switch it to Japanese. It'll take a couple of seconds for the text to refresh, and then Japanese text. Awesome, so that's fully working. That's what I wanted it to be doing. I'll give it a test with some control pads just while we're blasting Streets of Rage, just to make sure everything's working. Other than that, we're all done. Cool. Okay, so we're done. One cleaned up, working Mega Drive with toggle switches for 50 to 60 Hz on the first switch and Japanese to English on the second switch. I know you can do it through single switches, and I know you can do it through the reset button as well. The reset button is not in there because I got that out with a little bit of bleach on that out in the sun, so hopefully that'll come back up to the blue because it was a little bit greeny coloured. I'll pop that in before obviously I send it back to Danester. but it works great. It's running. I just had a blast on Streets of Rage on it, and yeah, it's all up and running and working really nice. So 60 Hz makes it a massive difference to most games. So Sonic, Streets of Rage, anything like that where you're getting jail bars and things like that, the speed picks up as well. So yeah, I didn't nowhere near get near beating Tooty's 1 hour video for the fix on this. I can't believe how many things I went through on that one board. So I started off with a clean, as I do with most systems. Cleaned it all through, powered it up, couldn't get any power, checked it with the multimeter and found that it was power. The power regs were fine. The LED was getting power as well, so I wired that back up. Checked it all over, reflowed all the connections on the bottom as well, the ones which I thought it could be. So I reflowed the power connector, I reflowed the cartridge connector, I reflowed, oh bloody hell, everything. I think the crystal, maybe even the RAM sockets. I reflowed anything that was underneath the board that looks like it needed a little bit of a freshen up on the solder. So I did all those. That didn't work. Next thing then, I took a crystal from another working Mega Drive, swapped them over. The crystal worked in the other Mega Drive, this one, the donor one. So I know the crystal from this one was good, from the one that Dana sent me. But it didn't fix the other board. So once I've done that, and I've done everything else I could think of, the next bit that you're getting into then is swapping RAM chips over and swapping CPUs and processors and things over. And by the time you do that, you might as well, if you've got another board here, just use that as a transplant board. So I transplanted that board across, rather than mess around, because all I was going to do is take those chips off and put them onto another board which is exactly the same. So, or very similar at least. So I set all that up, swapped it all over, we're up and running now. I installed the mods as well whilst I was there. I didn't really cover it on I got some footage of it and things which I've probably edited in already, but I'm not going to go over how to do the 50 to 60 Hz mods. The Mega Drive one is the easiest one to do, and the language mod. Literally you've got a couple of pins over here which are set up ready for you to do it. You just cut 2 traces, solder 4 wires, run those 4 wires to the back, or so a lot of people put them onto the side here, but I think that's ugly when they're sticking out the side here. Run into the back and then wire up your switches as you need to. So everything, all in all, that's a working system. And as I said, I've had a good blast on Streets of Rage on it, and yeah, it does the Japanese text, it does the bare knuckle title screen, and yeah, once you're in 60 Hz mode, it plays lovely as well. So cool, Dana, that's going to be back in the post to you. Thank you for sending me those other ones. So there's 2 other consoles that Dana sent me, a Dreamcast and a Mega Drive 2. So they're going to be in my next 2 videos to fix up over the next couple of weeks. I'm probably going to kick off with the Dreamcast one because I'm looking forward to doing that one. I'm going to do a couple more things on this. I noticed that I've left the slot off the side, so I'm going to put that back on there. And then, yeah, I'm going to package it up and send them off. Cool. Thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. Hope you've learned something along the way. Maybe not. If you've got a Mega Drive with a black screen, some of those fixes I did, cleaning the cartridge slot, cleaning the board, cleaning everything out, could fix it. But in this case it was just beyond fixing on those fixes that we were doing, and it was getting right down to the minute detail then. There were no broken traces or anything else, so I looked over it and this was the best option. So cool, hope you enjoyed. Let me know anything in the comments, any questions or anything else you've got, and I'll catch you soon. Cheers.